I think I would like to take us towards, how parents today are struggling to, with their
Deal
kids.
with the
kids. So, what is what is the basic? What are the things that you think parents, if you have points, or if you think, what is the general thing that you see in your practice, and what suggestions would you give to parents?
In Sikkim, I would say most of the kind of parenting that is practiced is permissive. So when it comes to permissive parenting, most of the time you allow the children to do what they want to do because of certain fear. There is a lot of he has this, I do not, my child should have it, or something like that. So the whole scenario and the whole picture has become like that. The parents also, let's say, give more emphasis on that factor ki my child should not feel less than what it is, so I will do more than what I the means that I have, but just rather show that it is okay. Like for example, I had a client, the problem that the client was facing was you know the car that the parents had bought was not up to her standard. So they were having problems with that. So those kind of stuff I'm talking about. So the parents are actually trying hard to, get it. And the father agreed to sell off the car and then buy a new car.
That would never happen in our time, anyways.
Yeah, right. So I don't think so. We would be heard on that also. But then nowadays it's happening. So more or less like permissive, and also some cases I feel there is a lot of neglect also. That people are not neglecting; they'll just grow by themselves. So that's why when the children are locking themselves in the room, you actually feel like, acha, there's no problem there. At least shanti to hai. You let them be. At least the elephants in the room nobody discusses. There are a lot of elephants in the room, but nobody wants to discuss. Nobody wants, because as and when it is come, let it be. So somewhere the scenario has become like that for us in here. I don't know about the rural part, but in the cities, yes, definitely. Although we might live in small spaces, but there's certainly rooms, and then we give so much preference to this privacy. So the privacy itself is a issue. We want to give privacy, but at the same time we need to have a little control on that also. That's what I feel.
Especially when, like, as I like in the last talk we mentioned about when we had a bigger families, like 5 kids in the family, 6 kids in the family. I mean, everyone certain moment of their life felt rejected, not noticed on, and now we want to have the best. That's a good motivation what all the parents have, and somehow from the like what you mentioned, maybe the person who is asking for, I want this particular brand of car, of course has to be like at least more than a teenager. It doesn't happen all on a sudden. It's not that all on a sudden the person gets this kind of notions, whatever I want I will get in my life. So one of the reasons, like so right from the beginning, somehow, because at least till the kids are like teenagers, unless I would say till the time they are 5 years, 6 years old, whatever happens in their life, a major role is by the parents. That's why parenting style is very important. And our love, our affection, and then what we want, what we have, what I could not do in my life, I want everything to be fulfilled in my child. Okay. And you are the best. You will get whatever you want. The child doesn't understand these things like real facts, and then mostly I don't think, like, I don't know if I'm wrong, correct me. So after you do your basic studies here, and then most of the people, they go to Delhi or other places for your studies and then pursuing higher education, and then maybe you have been the best in your own context, and you said, I don't know anything. I feel so scared. I feel so much inferiority complex when I'm. So right from the when we hit the reality about life situations, I don't know how to cope with it, and that's why the demands, like as you said, see, this is just this demand for a car or something that is something that's like the reflection of something that is going on within, that the person is not able to understand or identify. Maybe the person identifies the person themselves with, people identify themselves with the things what they have.
Mm.
If I have a nice car, I am something. I get attention. So those little bit of misconception, as you said, the process of developing your mind, strengthening your mind is mandatory, and it happens through social interaction. Sometimes you feel rejected, sometimes you feel accepted, sometimes so you have that balance, and that will help us to go in. So parenting is important. In let them experience even when they are small. So the moment I can't see my child crying, so basically when the child starts crying, we take it so seriously that if the child is in pain now. Actually, that's a kind of natural instincts that they have. But when we respond in that way, giving everything, that becomes a pattern in their brain. And then, and it happens, it continues even the person is
So the child basically is not learning to understand that I can't have certain things in life. So later on, when certain situations they have to face, then it becomes a real big problem.
Yeah, so what I was going to ask is, do you call, I think I see a lot of parents doing that, telling their child they are the best, right? Is that is that the right thing to do?
If the child is the best, then of course, there's no problem in it. But we know the difference, right?
If you ask me that question, because who is best?
No, like, you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. So one thing, like some of the few simple things. Let me do, like for the parents, those who are trying to put few things. I mean, if they are seriously planning on working on a little bit small mistakes, what we do.
Papa ki pari. Sorry.
Yeah. So a few things like just accept. So the concept of best, like you're the best, it comes like always in comparison with others, right? So suppose the child has an examination and gets the result, and immediately if there are two friends, young friends, parents, like suppose two ladies, or I can say, and you get, how much you got? 98. Wow, very good. The next thing is how much my friend's kid got. And if you got 98 and the friend's kid happened to get 99, you're not the best. So the concept, it's always in comparison. So you are the best. You are the child feels like the whole concept should be best. When you say you are the best, you become the best version of yourself. You're not trying to make another person. Don't have to compare with others. That is what always pulls people down.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have this system of first rank, second rank. That, and if you are able to handle all those things, earlier kids couldn't handle it. You didn't feel something. My world is ending because I used to be always first and I did not come first. It was nothing. But today it's not. The kids don't have that coping skill to take it. And then, so these are the reflections of
that's what I was saying. What I was saying is that the parenting style, right, has changed over the years. During our time, it was punitive, right? It was like you would not want your child to think too highly of themselves.
Yeah.
So they will say, no, you are nothing. No, you do poorly.
That should be another extreme.
Extreme, like 98%. What? Only 98, So that was, we know in the hills, I think, most parents did that, right? Not just hills, I think all over the country. And I think even, So they'll say, you see those funny videos also about it, right? So they'll be like that. And now it's the other extreme where you get 10 marks and they'll be like, oh, so it's okay.
In a way, what you're saying is, since this generation who's always heard something negative about ourselves, and our self-talk is also very negative, right?
Yeah.
So because that is our parental self, what we've heard, that is what is talking to us. No, we have that inner voice, we call it. So that is when if you actually identify that, we say certain really offending things to ourselves in our head, in our mind. So probably we are compensating. So we don't want our kids to have that. So we are compensating. And even when the child is simply holding a pencil also, we are like, yeah, you held a pencil, kind of thing.
That's such a big deal.
If we were not to hold the pencil when we were young, we would have gotten a thrashing. Right?
Yeah.
But right now we are getting encouraged, and so it actually leads to inflated self-esteem. And then when we actually go into the real world, then our coping mechanism, we are not ready to face that kind of situation.
Suddenly
Not at
you
all.
realize, oh, I am not a princess. Then it comes crashing down, the world, and then it becomes difficult, I think, for the...
So we are not able to
Yeah.
manage the situation, and then definitely then all these aspects come about self-esteem issues, how we deal with the situation we don't know how to manage. Then we become a little demanding also, because I have to have it my way, or it's
the highway.
it's not going to work out.
Yeah. I mean, what suggestions do you have, like what to do, what not to do? What is the thing that parents should not do at all? One thing, let's say, if you can name it.
Well, if I tell, like, what you should do, what you should not do, we will become like preachers. That's not that's not the role of see, more than any. So once you have this basic understanding of how things change, you know what is best for your child in your context. And then a few things like we need to have a balancing about anything. When we go to this extreme, sometimes, this is not enough, this is not enough, this is not enough. When you are like, trying to make your child humble, that might be your purpose, but the child is not. And then, when it's a developing mind, what the kids get attracted is authentic expressions of, because they have the capacity to understand somebody who, like, it's not just like flowery words, nothing. Just be real. If you do something, so there is another style of parenting, like authoritative parenting. That's where you have a responsible way of choosing things. Suppose if the kid asks for something, surely you can have certain conversations like, do you think you really need it? Okay, the child would know, I need it. Why do you need it? Because my friend has it. That's not a valid reason for you to have it. And then, so this way of there is nothing wrong to have kind of matured conversation with your kids. And then you are asking for a reason, and then don't give everything. Try not to give. I mean, again, I'm saying don't do it. It's right to say that. So try. We are not giving all the explanation. Ask questions. What do you have to say about this? What you have done? And then when you start dealing it, so they think for themselves. And then, so this way of approaching, and then suppose you will say, don't do this. Never touch the phone. Right? That's what they say. And we don't give explanation. One of the things in parenting was say, if you say no, always give an explanation why I'm saying no to you. The child may not understand it completely at that time. So therefore, in a nice way, there are these reasons. That's why I'm saying no to you. Something is asked, I need to get this. I said, well, this is not, you give all the reasons what you can. And of course, if you're a parent, you're matured enough to know what your child needs and doesn't need. Because those days, all the choices, they don't have control over. What they like, what they see, whatever senses they get, then they are that attracted to. Sometimes they see something on the TV and they said immediately, like, that's why kids would like, I'm Superman and this and all, like, of course, the parents would know you're not a Superman, but at least they know. And then, I mean, simple things like explain to them. But at the same time, and if it's too controlling, that is not also a healthy parenting style. And only thing like this I would truly say, suppose a kid is like less than 10 or 11 years, less than 10, 11 years old. The parents need to spend actually quality and quantity time with them. That's the most important thing what the parents can do. How much, all the parents can ask yourself, hey, how much time really I spend? Like, not just for mothers alone. If it's a patriarchal society or matriarchal society where both the parents need to spend, that's the best thing what you can give to your children. And if they are above, like when they are teenagers, you still need to spend time, but it needs to be quality time, not necessarily quantity time. They don't want you to sit there for like 4 hours, 5 hours, and then explain and share about. That's not expected, but every time you need to spend some time. So that's the best thing. And whatever comes in between. And when you spend this time, a lot of things come. You don't have to go. You don't have to sit with a preconceived notion or something, some theory. I'm going to apply certain theory. Nothing you need to do. And if you see, like, if we compare with, because mostly maybe 20, 30 years back, only one person worked in the family.
Yeah,
the kids
now-
have all the time, and these things naturally help the kids to have a better understanding of themselves, interaction, and then more kids learn by imitating. And whom do they imitate? Their parents mostly, whom they like, and then they, okay, my mom deals with this situation like this, my dad deals with this situation like this. When something goes wrong, my mom yells at things, and then everything goes wrong. Oh, this is how I'm supposed to deal with.
Yeah.
It's just one situation, because they're learning. They're just like mopping up whatever is in front of them. So yeah, if you ask, how do I do the best parenting? Be a best model for them. Be a best model for them in all the things, and then rest out.
imitate.
It's all on personal choices. What do you want?
Yeah.
This
a lot of
understanding
it.
will help.
You know, a lot of things that I have subconsciously learned from my mother. I mean, you all have, and then you know, without realizing it, then you know, you're doing the same thing that you saw your mother do. So it is what you said is modeling, being the best model. I think.
Yeah,
is the best way,
till at least till the age of 5, 6, it's all learned behavior by observing, by listening. It's not like something I want to develop by myself, and yeah. So mostly when you deal with a serious mental health issue, first thing what we ask in our field is, we need to know the childhood history. When we take, that's very important part of in order to understand the person, the background and things like that. But those are not decisive, but they have a very dominant role. And once if you understand that, we are able to understand the person better, and then it takes time, but that's important part of life. That's why parenting is parenting has a very crucial role in mental health.
because it's all during childhood.
And you will
Everything
surely
happens.
find that, especially what I notice outside, is when somebody has a single parenting is a very common norm there now, and the struggle, and that was surprising for me when you take the background, and then people say, I'm a single parent, and then what the impact the child has, which the child has no role in it, and then. And surely, that's what's interesting when somebody is referred, a kid is referred, when you check, I'm a single parent, or certain issues, and that is typically reflected in the child.
There's a pattern.
There's a pattern. And that's why we feel that's why governments also make so many rules to protect the children, protect the child, and these are part of, and it forms if we are able to be better parents, understanding certain things and committing ourselves, especially giving time, we can surely create healthy generations.
Yeah.
Because that role is crucial.
All right.
So that's one of the, I would say, what is the preventive? Because we are discussing on the preventive aspect of mental health. Those who can, at least those who are parents, those who are aspiring to be parents, I have important role, responsibility that I have been given. Let me try my level best. And then that will create even after doing that, it's not guaranteed that everything is going to be, but at least we are in a better side of wellness.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's so much left to discuss, but we will end this episode for now. And I thank Dr. Sibi and Dr. Sangela for giving their valuable time here. It's such a it has been a long day, and the light is also going, the sun has set, and so we will also have to leave.
Okay.